Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a conflict, an old one really, that's just taken a very disturbing, almost unprecedented turn. We're talking about the border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. It's been around for ages, but it's not just about historical claims anymore. Now it seems to be fueled by something darker. Huge networks of cyberscam slave camps, basically places where people are forced to run online scams. It's a really dangerous mix. So our mission today is to unpack this, to look at how these different things, ancient territory fights, modern human trafficking, illegal digital scams, have all tangled together into, well, a regional security crisis.
That's right. It's a chilling mix, really. You've got criminal businesses that seem to be not just influencing, but maybe even actively driving actual military conflict between nations. It makes you rethink what national security even means now in this digital era. And the links here, well, they're pretty unexpected.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, the traditional conflict. This tension, Thailand and Cambodia, it's been simmering for decades, hasn't it? Especially around the Preah Vihear Temple. We saw it flare up just last week. But even before that, back in May, there was that fatal shooting incident between troops.
Right. And this temple, Preah Vihear, it's this incredible, centuries-old Hindu shrine, literally perched on the border cliff.
Yeah.
The fight over it goes back to the early 20th century. And even though the International Court of Justice gave the temple site to Cambodia in '62, well, that didn't really end the tension. It's always been there, bubbling under the surface, a real flashpoint.
And the human cost is just awful. This latest fighting last week, over 30 people killed, tens of thousands of ordinary people had to flee their homes. But like you said, there's this feeling that this time it's about more than just nationalism or old maps.
So, okay, let's unpack this
Yeah.
this murkier conflict you mentioned. What's going on beneath the surface? Because you're saying these cyber scam operations, these slave camps, are somehow tied into the border fighting, and they're physically close to the area. Yes, their proximity is key. And the scale, the nature of these camps, it's genuinely shocking. We're talking about massive compounds, essentially factories for fraud. They lure vulnerable people, often job seekers, from all over Asia. Interpol, Amnesty International, they estimate maybe over 100,000 people could be trapped inside. They call them hellish scamming compounds. And inside, people are forced, coerced into running scams, romance scams, phishing, fake crypto investments, targeting people globally.
Wow, 100,000 people. That number is hard to even process, the sheer scale of that suffering. And obviously this hasn't gone unnoticed internationally.
Not at all. The UN has condemned it, the U.S. State Department too. Washington actually sanctioned a Cambodian senator back in 2023, citing alleged links to these kinds of camps.
Okay, so that leads us to Thailand's reaction. They've taken a pretty hard line recently, haven't they? Threatening to cut power and internet?
Yes. Thailand recently threatened to sever electricity and internet to specific areas in Cambodia where they believe these camps are operating. Now, officially, Thailand says this aligns with their anti-trafficking stance, their foreign policy. But you can imagine it seriously ramps up the diplomatic tension with Cambodia. And it's worth adding, Thai authorities have been trying to get victims out, sometimes with help from Chinese intelligence, because, well, many of these operations are thought to be run by Chinese organized crime groups. It's a very tangled, transnational problem.
Right, so you have international condemnation, sanctions, Thailand threatening infrastructure, and yet these camps are still operating. How are they so resilient?
Money. Simple as that, really.
Oh.
Their sheer profitability seems to be the key. The Australian Strategic Policy Institute, ASPI, they put out a report estimating these scam operations are pulling in something like $12.5 billion a year.
12.5 billion.
Annually.
Annually. And get this, that's nearly half of Cambodia's entire official GDP. Half the GDP. Wow. Okay, that kind of money inevitably leads to really difficult questions, doesn't it? About, complicity.
Exactly. That's the really sensitive part. There are serious allegations that some figures within Cambodia's political elite might be, let's say, turning a blind eye, or maybe even directly benefiting from these criminal operations.
And these aren't just vague rumors. I mean, we've seen Sam Rainsy, the exile opposition leader, very publicly accuse Prime Minister Hun Sen of protecting these camps, even saying they're the biggest roadblock to sorting out the border issues.
Yes, those accusations are out there. And to give the source perspective, an ASPI researcher, Angela Suriasani, she echoed that sentiment somewhat carefully. She stated that elements within the Cambodian establishment may tolerate or indirectly benefit from the camps. But she also stressed very clearly these are still allegations under investigation. They need proper legal scrutiny, transparency.
So putting this all together, what's the big picture shift here? What does it all mean?
Well, it means these cyber slavery operations aren't just a terrible human rights issue, which they absolutely are. They've become something else. They're now a geopolitical fault line. Their huge economic power, their links to organized crime, potentially even their infiltration into political structures. It's transformed local crime into a real regional security threat.
A security threat driving actual military clashes.
And that's the truly unprecedented part. As far as we know, this is the first time that digital scam operations, these criminal enterprises, seem to have indirectly fueled a conventional boots-on-the-ground military fight between two countries. It's a completely new and, frankly, disturbing intersection of cybercrime and traditional conflict. The lines have blurred dramatically.
Right now, there's a ceasefire, technically, but it's fragile. And the damage is done, people are dead, the border area is scarred, thousands are displaced. It just starkly shows how tangled up everything has become. So, to recap, we've looked today at how this very old border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia has gotten horrifically tangled up with the modern dark reality of cyber scam slavery. It's created this incredibly volatile, dangerous new kind of conflict where digital crime isn't just happening online, it's spilling out into real-world violence between nations.
And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. As our world gets more and more digital, how else might these kinds of economic drivers tied to transnational cybercrime start to reshape traditional conflicts? Could they push tensions between countries into even newer, maybe even more dangerous, unpredictable territories? It's a critical question for the future.